Stephanie, what are you doing?
I am segueing in today's podcast. If you're listening, can you guess what I just did? Something totally annoying in Nina's eyes.
I like to call it the little chicken Buddha hands with the...
Yes, we just did a little attempt at ASMR on our podcast.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads us into telling you about our topic today.
Yes, we are going to be talking about influencer marketing and why it is for businesses of all sizes, why you can be an influencer if you want to.
Or you can be an influencer utilizing your business and how to do that. So I think there's just a big misconception that you've missed the boat on influencer marketing if you're a small creator or a small business.
Or if you don't have really long nails that you can tap on everything. I know that that's a trend and I know that people like it, but for me, it's I'd rather hear nails on a chalkboard than nails on a Stanley Cup. For some reason, it just hurts my spine now. Honestly, give me the cup back.
I know Nina did not want me to start the podcast out with that finger tapping. I asked her, could I start out that way? And she gave me the dirtiest look, like, no,
like
you cannot.
That little sister look, like,
no. She was like, you're ruining our podcast by starting that way. Like, we're getting no listens today.
Already thinking of a career change.
Yes, absolutely. But I hope you will listen today because I think influencer marketing, like we mentioned already, you can do this. And we're not talking get ready with me's. We're not talking a day in the life ofs. We're not talking ASMR. We're just talking about creating general influence level using your social media platforms and how you can be a thought leader, no matter if you have 100 creators or 100 followers, or if you have 100,000 followers.
Right. Absolutely. Because businesses of any size can have influence on the internet. The internet has 1 million users and there's
actually has 2 billion monthly users on most social media platforms. So
not really sure why I lowballed that. Yeah, that was definitely really like there's 1 million people in Jacksonville right now. So but there's so many people on the internet. There's people that want your information, and now it's getting so niche. So like, we're seeing this trend in 2024 of marketing, and we saw it projected in 2023 to happen in 2024. That like people want to see this niche, authentic content that relates to them. So any size influencer can have that influence, I guess.
Right. And we're not, like I said, we're not talking about like a get ready with me video. We're just talking about taking your brand, your business, your service, whatever it is, and being a thought leader where people look to you. That is all influence is. And we're going to teach you some ways to do that. But before we dive into that today, we kind of just wanted to talk about the influencer marketing field in general. It's a $21.1 billion industry, and over 83% of marketers affirm the effectiveness of influencer marketing as a strategy. We're seeing brand after brand after brand take away money that they were previously using in magazines and on billboards in New York City and
commercials.
Yeah, just old school commercials. We're seeing them now go to influencer marketing. Estee Lauder in 2021 or 2022 committed 75% of their marketing budget to influencer marketing.
Dang. Yeah, and they've been around for a long time. So it's interesting to see them make that pivot.
I look at Stanley. I mean, I know Nina can't stand the nail temp on a Stanley cup. It's just a tap. But Geniuses, they were a traditionally construction camping company. Literally, they did not change anything but some colors, which is so easy to do. Mm-hmm. And they changed the way they were marketing. They went to moms. They went to young girls. At first, it started with moms. Mm-hmm. Then it went to like 20-year-olds. And now my neighbor, she is the cutest little thing ever. She's 8 and she has like 8 Stanleys. So
I've seen like some viral TikToks of people like they have Stanleys for different outfits. Like they coordinate their outfits with their Stanley. Like,
and whether you agree with the 40, 50, 60, I'm not sure how much they are, but whether you agree with the price point of the cup, you have to agree with the geniusness of their marketing team. And that's
working.
Right. And that's what I hope if you are a small business or you're a real estate agent, that you will look at these companies and go, I don't have their marketing budget, but what I can do is mimic some of the practices that they are doing, but do it authentically to your brand. So and another reason Nina and I were talking about, the reason this influencer marketing works is because it's social proof.
Right. That just goes down to like psychology. It's social proof. When you see other people doing things, it validates it for you.
Yeah. Nina and I were talking before the podcast. Influencer marketing is essentially a Google or Yelp review on crack.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Because if a picture, the expression, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, then how much is a video worth,
And how much is a video worth of a young lady, young man that seems like he's middle America, hanging out in his 1-bedroom normal apartment, using a product that you relate to so wholeheartedly because you're in different socioeconomic statuses, you're in similar seasons of life, and he's using it or she's using it, and you're like, well, sign me up, you know?
Right, absolutely.
I mean, the social proof from influencer marketing is incredible. And to tie this back to your small business, that's why I hope you will continue to listen to this podcast and see how you can utilize it.
Right, absolutely.
And, you know, also with the influencer marketing, it does increase visibility. When I said 2 billion monthly users on most your social media platforms, it's crazy wild how visible you can be.
Right, absolutely. And like, if you run an ad in a newspaper, it's just in that newspaper. If you run a commercial, it's just when that commercial is being aired. When you put it on the internet, it's there forever. So
correct, good or bad. I don't know.
Be careful what you put.
Yeah, don't go wild now. And like Nina was talking about, and she really drove this point home a lot in our podcast planning meeting when she talked about everyone has influence.
Everyone. Yeah, absolutely. Just that, like, you have a voice on the internet, and anyone, like I was saying, anyone can access what you've posted on there forever. So you can, even if you have a small business, you may not need 1 million followers because you probably can't have 1 million clients or 1 million customers. But if you can be an influence in your community or in your business sphere, that's all. You just need to influence enough people to get more clients for you, you know?
Right. I always am shocked when people ask me about going viral. I'm like, because we primarily work with small businesses, solopreneurs, and I'm like, could you even handle viralness? Like, you see these, okay, I got a great example. I just seen a mega influencer, and she actually said, and this made me so sad, that she will not work with small businesses anymore because what happens is that Michaela girl, I don't know anything about her, so I'm not judging at all, like literally know nothing about her. She got in an argument with another creator about some self-tanning stuff. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But anyway, she says she will no longer work with small businesses because she makes them go viral. So let's say she's working with a necklace company. Mm-hmm. She shares their necklace. Well, then people will flock to that company and try to order necklaces, and then the small creator cannot keep up with the necklace orders. And then she says it reflects badly on her. Like, there's slow shipping time. So what I'm trying to say is the goal is to not go viral in my book. Because you're not trying to be popular, you're just trying to be successful. And those are way two different things.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you do become viral and then you have to, create more necklaces or create more of your product or whatever it is, great. Try and set yourself up for that. But
that shouldn't be the goal.
Right. And I feel like people feel like they're unsuccessful and they think that they're going to be unsuccessful unless they can get that viral video. But success can be measured by just increasing your business.
Okay. I have a great example. I had a reel that I posted a few weeks ago. It got 127 views, y'all. 127. I received 2 DMs from a 127 view reel asking about our services and our business and wanting more information. We are a small company. We can only handle so many. So let's say they work with us, that both of those people, we can only take on about 8 more clients. So what I'm saying is you just need good influence, not wide influence. And really that's kind of one of the things we really want to talk about is we're even seeing brands start to connect with the micro influencer. I mean, it's much more effective for example, I mean, that Darcy McQueen story.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've been hearing about that. And she's not even someone that typically comes up on my algorithm. It's just not, her content's just not geared towards me. I'm sure she's a great girl. But I've even been seeing some of this stuff too, because it's just a bit interesting. So if you're not familiar, what she did was she's an influencer, and a lot of companies had sent her a bunch of like promo materials, and she just kind of stockpiled it for, I think it was 2 months. And then she did a big, she made this whole event of like, oh, I'm going to do all the unboxing. I'm going to send it all out. And she was going to do giveaways. So she wasn't just throwing the things away, but she had stockpiled it for 2 months and then did this like rapid unboxing video where she just shows the products for a few moments on camera.
Like 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Doesn't use them. Barely even says what they are, honestly. And some of them she was mispronouncing the names.
Right. So if you've seen this video and you're listening to this, you'll know like the boxes were stacked from floor to ceiling. And like when I say to ceiling, I mean literally. And there was piles and piles of them from floor to ceiling. And it was just such an eye-opening experience. And I think that her videos alone will be pivotal this year. I think there's boardrooms across America who handle marketing and PRs and influencer marketing, and they are making changes immediately. Watching her do that, the only person in my eyes that benefited was Darcy, because Darcy's going to go do giveaways. It's going to grow her account when she does the giveaways. When she grows her account, she's going to get more views on TikTok and Instagram, and she's paid per view by TikTok and Instagram. So now if she was making, let's say, 6,000 for one of her videos, but now she has 100,000 more followers. Now she's making 9 and 10,000. Who really benefited here? Darcy. So I think these brands are seeing the mega influencer is not having the influence it did back in 2019, 2020, especially during the pandemic years. I think they're seeing, I would rather go with a micro influencer with someone who's less than 20,000 followers, heck, even 2,000 and 3,000 followers, who will ride or die for me, who will go to bat, who will get on there passionately, be excited, who will use the product every day because they are so genuinely excited. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I think this Darcy McQueen thing is going to be a major upset and help really change the influencer industry as we see it. And as a marketing agency, we want you guys to get ahead of this. So if you've always wanted to either be an influencer or have your business be an influence, get ahead of the curve right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you listen to the podcast we did a few weeks ago on the marketing trends for 2024, we did touch on how these micro influencers are going to be a bigger deal. And I feel like this Darcy McQueen event right now that's been happening it hasn't necessarily changed the tides. I think it was already happening that way. I think it just shed a lot more light on the pivot. And I think it might even increase the speed of how quickly we see it.
Yes.
It might accelerate the progress of it, of that pivot. So
Correct.
Definitely a lot more of the small influence. I think it kind of ties back to the more authentic marketing as well. Because when you see all these celebrities like pushing these products that you're like, you don't even use that, or just getting all this flack for the products that they're pushing because they're just not right. You lost that trust, I guess. So now now we're pivoting to see that trust be put in the smaller influencers because they're actually using the products.
Correct. And I also think pricing has come out on what these mega influencers are paid. So, okay, for example, I think Victoria Beckham is stunning. She's beautiful. I think she's, oh my gosh, everything. When I see her in an outfit, I'm never going to go, and I love all her outfits, so that's why I use her. I'm never going to go look up the price of it because I just assume I can't afford it.
I'm going to look up the dupes. I'm going to be like, Victoria Beckham outfit dupe.
Right. So that's what you're seeing with these mega influencers too, is these smaller people are thinking, well, of course I can't afford because they make all this money. So I just think they're just going to be a little bit more unrelatable to the middle spectrum, which is primarily what's on social media.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, and I just think also, so if you are wanting to get into this influencer space and you're like, well, where do I even get started? Nina and I are going to encourage you. The first thing to worry about is not follower count. I know that sounds counterproductive to what you've heard the last 5 years, but there are brands now who do not care anything about follower count. There is a lady I know on social media who had, I believe, between 2,500 and 3,000 followers, and she got a brand deal with Nespresso. Nespresso. Like, I mean, I couldn't say the name, but I know they're big. I know they got probably $1 billion marketing. She had less than 3,000 followers and landed a brand deal because she's just authentic. She's consistent. She tags them every single day of her life. Now her follower count is way up, but back then when she got the deal, it was not.
Right. Yeah. And also we already talked about this, but only, 3% of your followers see your content? Like, do you want to have engaged? You're going to see the content of the accounts you follow, you interact with more. So people are realizing that the algorithm knows that. So if you have really engaged followers that are commenting and liking your things, that's way better than having 2,000 bot followers.
Yeah, that's what brands are looking at. They're not going for the person who has 50,000 followers with a 0.6% engagement rate. They're looking for the person with 7,000 followers with a 4, 6, 10. I mean, there are some creators out there who have 11 and 12% engagement rate. They've created a extremely niche communal feel amongst their followers. And that's what brands are looking for. So if you are like, I want to get in this influencer space, even though that's not exactly what the topic of our podcast is, we want to teach you how to create influence. The first thing you're going to do is create engagement. And then if you want your brand to be the influencer, the same thing. Have create a community, build rapport, give the engagement that you wish to receive. So go comment on people's stuff. Talk about how you love what they're doing. And then in return, they will do that.
But don't be like weird about it. And don't just be like, hey girl, love it. Like, love your stuff. Or just like throwing out those random hearts. Like, the
algorithm says you need to have 5 words or more, so the hearts aren't going to work anyway.
I'm saying don't copy and paste the same message onto 40,000 different people's posts. You know? Like, be nice. Be like, actually say something that you mean. You know?
Right. I wouldn't
people
comment.
Will see through that. You know,
they will feel that absolutely. So if you want to become an influencer in your industry, the first thing we're going to talk about is authenticity, and this is going to be everything and the bulk of what you really just need to adhere to. So in the beginning, I did the finger tapping on the cup, and I know that has been popular, but now it is read as inauthentic. So if you're going to follow trends, which is A-okay, if you're going to do the finger tapping, the starting your sentences with, why is nobody talking about this when literally everyone is, you need to be willing to pivot the trends quickly. So these trends are starting to end and people aren't wanting to get off the train. Like, you got to get off the train and move to the next trend.
Right. Absolutely. Because also, and this is just like a little bit of a tangent theory that I have, but like how we have those like stereotypical tropes, you know, like the Valley Girl trope of the bubbly hair and like the cheerleader trope, the football coach where they're all aggressive. I really think that we're getting like that influencer trope where like it's the finger tapping, it's the hands kill me. I don't know why, but the hands kill me. And like, I can appreciate these are nice people, but as soon as I see you do your little finger tapping and your hand, I'm just next. I can't.
Well, Nina told me, she's like, I just feel it's inauthentic. I just don't feel, she's like,
they're playing the role of an influencer and they're in their like influencer character. Or when you see the jokes about like servers and bartenders having their service industry voice and then they switch out of their service industry voice. It's like they turn on their influencer persona and it's just like,
it doesn't feel authentic to Nina. Nina was very passionate about that. I know I'm normally the more passionate one, but I very much appreciated you coming at this when we were doing our podcast planning. I appreciated you were like, I want the most authentic, raw version of you. And that's what she wants. I will say, I don't like the finger tapping. I don't like the fingers under the chin where we're on toddlers and deer. I don't like all that, but I can understand why people want to feel a little more polished, because I do like to feel polished a little bit on camera. I don't feel like my camera voice is the same as my everyday voice. Yeah, but I get Nina's point, and I 1,000% agree with the authenticity part now there. You're never going to see me do a dancing video. Now, I love them, so y'all keep doing them. But I'm never going to do them because it's not authentic to me. If people see me do a dancing video, they would immediately read right through me and go, yeah, she's just doing that for views. She's not doing that to sell her product that she believes in.
Yeah, I will tell you, Stephanie is a few years older than me. And so she had a little influence on me when I was younger. And she used to choreograph routines for us. She would dress us up. I have pictures of me young as probably like 4 or 5 dressing. We have 2 other sisters, so the 3 of us up. But she was not out there whipping the moves. She was with the clipboard telling us the moves, holding the camera, document it for the rest of our lives. But like, yeah, it's just not authentic to her. So she's just not gonna be out there whipping the nene on camera unless she's had a couple of glasses of wine with the kids.
No,
with the fam.
No. Oh my gosh.
I just feel like on vacation. I'm just thinking about
DCF will be at my house tomorrow.
She's a great parent. She's a great parent. I just thought back like to this last ski trip when we had a glass
I don't
of
know
wine.
what she's talking about.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
All right.
She's a great parent.
Oh my gosh, they're coming tomorrow. Anyway, what we want to say is if you want to become an influencer in your business, do what's authentic. Do not get on there and feel like you need a finger tap, show us your hands, whatever. The rawest version of you will be the most relatable version of you. And I know you're going to think, well, there's already so many people in my space, but no one has said it like you. There's 2 billion people that get on any given social media platform. Someone is going to connect with your voice, your mannerisms. Nina and I have very different podcast approach. There are people who tell me all the time, like, oh, I could listen to you all day. And then there are people who tell me, oh, I love hearing Nina. Like, we're just going to relate to different people. I am a much more direct delivery. And some people are like, shoot me straight. Nina is much softer delivery and much more like,
I say a lot more words to get to my point.
Yeah. And I'm like, here's what we're doing. Here's what you're doing. And like, that doesn't work for some people. That scares them. And Nina's approach kind of breaks the ice, kind of settles them in. So don't get caught up. There's millions of other podcasters, like millions. It's the most saturated business move we could have ever made. But here we are. We're just doing it authentically. Absolutely. I don't know if y'all are liking it. I mean, I guess the podcast numbers are up. Whoop, whoop, hello. And so anyway, the next thing we're going to tell you to be is consistent. If you want to be an influencer using your business or in your field, it is, influencer marketing is a job. So if you were just to go to another job one day a week or every other day or whatever, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to fire you. You're not going to be part of the industry anymore. Unfortunately, that is the thing with influencer marketing. You don't want to be annoying, but you have to be ultra consistent. So,
right. And not just even for the algorithm's sake, but just to be on the forefront of people's mind.
Right. And people view it, if they should go to your profile and you don't have something posted and it's been like 4 days, they're going to view you as not home, not available.
Right. Especially if you're in an oversaturated market, like if you're a real estate agent or if you sell something that people can get anywhere else, you want to show that you're committed to it and that you're serious about it and that it's not just some like side project for you, you know, like if you're only posting about, like if you're, let's say you're a real estate agent and you're only posting your listings once every month and a half or so, then no one's going to want to list with you because you don't seem like you're that serious. But when you show that you're passionate, people are going to be attracted to that passion.
Correct, for sure. And so be authentic, be consistent. The next one is, I think helps show trust a lot, is collaboration. And so that is you collaborating with other brands, or that is you trying to get to collaborate with other brands. Absolutely. Either way.
And that kind of goes back to that social proof. You know, if they already like that other brand, or if they've heard of it, or if they just know that it's established, it kind of gives.
Correct. Yeah. And if you are wanting to try to land some brand deals or collaborations, our best advice is to show up every single day and to tag. So these companies need to say, okay, I'm going to send this girl or this guy a product. I need to know that I'm getting my money's worth. So if you are wanting to work with a larger brand or there's a goal brand out there for you to collaborate with, tag.
Absolutely.
Stay on the radar. The next thing you can do to help be an influencer in your field is to have some user-generated content. So where other people create content for you. And we did this for a brand and we didn't ask to get paid. We just really loved their product and we shared about it. And then 8 months later?
Yeah.
They reached out to us and said, would you do another video and we'll pay you this time?
Yeah, actually, I think it was one of our very first podcasts that we did. We did on digital business cards. And of course, we wanted to do some research on good companies that we liked. And we use Business Cards IO. So it was easy to do or to create user-generated content for them because we use them and we like them.
Correct. So if you have someone that's buying your t-shirts, send them an email and say, hey, I've noticed you bought 3 t-shirts from me. Would you be willing to just show it on camera, wear it, and just create some content for you? And then when we did businesscards.io, we were able to basically on the back end tag them as a collaborator, and then they took that and boosted that for us. So we gained exposure on their advertising dollars, which was so generous of them because we thoroughly believed in their product.
Absolutely.
So shameless plug. If you are looking for a digital business card, businesscards.io, and you can use code SSC at checkout and you can get 20% off for a year. So a year, y'all. They gave a great discount code. They were not playing around when they showed up with that code.
Yeah.
So, but what we did was authentic, and then it turned into us getting paid. So
right, absolutely.
Authentically tag the brands you want to work with. And
the stuff you're already doing and using, you don't have to wait till they reach out to you and be like, hey, have you ever heard of us? Do stuff that you're already using. And then it's easy to create that authentic collaboration.
Yeah, for sure. And then the other one we want to talk about, which just goes without saying, so we're not going to spend a lot of time here, but unfortunately, influencer marketing isn't ultra effective in photography. It's ultra effective in video. And I mean, there are accounts that can do it with photography, but there are the exception to the rule. Unfortunately, if you have any chance of becoming an influencer in your space or in your industry, you're going to have to show up on video.
Yeah. And it's pretty rare for the accounts that don't show your face and don't show the person to be popular as well. There are some faceless accounts that are very popular, but definitely that, especially if you want to try and build authentic connection, showing up, speaking, showing your face, being on video, that's going to definitely help.
Did you see the story? So talking about speaking on video, there is this girl and she got reamed for it. And I'm going to try to tread lightly here because I feel like what she got reamed for. Okay, let me just tell y'all the story and then I'll tell you my opinion. So essentially she does talk, like she does videos where she doesn't talk and she shows you like her making her healthy lunches and stuff and going to the farmer's market apparently. Well, she doesn't engage at all with her followers, but she has like millions of them and she doesn't respond to comments and she doesn't talk in her videos. Well, she developed this tote bag. I'm going to tread lightly because I want to always support small businesses, but it is very similar to like a tote bag you would see at Michael's or Hobby Lobby where you would put like, you know, a stamp on it or embroider or sew your name on it. It's like similar to that, but she's charging $120. And
what's the bag look like?
No, it's just a plain canvas tote.
It's just plain?
It's just plain. I'll show it when we leave here.
Is it in cute colors or is it just
gray and cream? I mean, there might be one more, but anyway.
That better be the best built bag. Like you better put boulders in it.
Well, I'll tell you this, it released yesterday and she sold out. Now she might have only had limited numbers, but so she filmed 3 videos this week of her talking in them and like trying to convince you to buy her product. And her followers were so mad because they were like, oh, you couldn't talk to us when you wasn't selling us nothing. Now that you're selling something, you're talking to us. Like when I tell you they went, like they had a riot in her comment section. Now, granted, some of the riot was because she's charging $120 for a tote bag that probably costs less than $5 to make. But that was half of it. And then the other half was she didn't stay authentic to her brand. Like her brand and so just know that whatever you do needs to stay authentic throughout the whole time. So do what works for you, do what you're comfortable with. And then so we did want to finish up with this a little bit too. If you're like, okay, I don't necessarily want to be an influencer, but I want my brand to get some of the same type of exposure. There are a few workarounds. Nothing's going to be quite as effective as
but you kind of outsource it a little bit.
Yeah. So, the first one is what we said above is if you're not going to use influencers, use Google reviews. Find a way to capture Google reviews, Yelp reviews, and then share those on your stories and on your page as social proof.
Yeah. I mean, if you're already using like Canva or anything, you can just like screenshot them, go to Canva and make them look a little cuter.
Yeah.
Bam.
There you go.
Instagram post.
The next thing is having people like and share your stuff, like them sharing. So if you know a person in your community who's very well respected and they're willing to share your Instagram page on their stories or on their feed or in their Facebook, bam, more social proof from someone who is trustworthy. So that's another great way to build influence.
Well, and also too, I think that a lot of times if you ask your customers, especially small businesses, I know if I ever buy from a small business, a lot of them will come with like a little card in the box or whatever saying like, tag us on Instagram, like show us using your product on Instagram. We'd like, even if it's something just as cute as like, we'd love to see how happy you are with your product. Post and tag. Just as something as simple as asking people to post about whatever your product. A lot of times that works really well. Just the appreciation that they bought it and asking them for it.
Correct. I mean, they're typically happy to do it. The next thing to share is case studies of why your product, your service works or is needed. So anytime you have actual data is king in a lot of cases. I mean, it really doesn't trump video, but it is up there. Excuse me. I'm sorry. But just sharing real numbers. So if you're a realtor and you can, people don't want to pay you because they don't want to pay the commission, but you actually make them more money because let's say houses sold by realtors make more. Share that stat or that data. That's more social proof outside of the traditional influencer marketing.
Just make sure that you're understanding what it is that you're reading and what you're presenting, because that would be an unfortunate way to go viral is by getting roasted on the internet by sharing something that's inaccurate.
Yeah, definitely.
Or having an inaccurate interpretation of it.
Correct. You don't want to get roasted.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. And then another one that Nina and I really like this, and it creates a little urgency, but is the purchase proof. So if someone, let's say you sell necklaces or you sell marketing classes like us, you can take a screenshot when you've had a course booked and share it on your Insta story. I also really like those websites. At the bottom, it pops up that'll say like, Sharon from Mobile, Alabama just bought one of these shirts. You feel like you and Sharon are the same, but you also feel a little urgency because you don't want the shirt to sell out.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That gets me. The only a few left gets me. I don't even know if those numbers are real. I feel like they might be just fabricated to like give me that sense of urgency when it'll be like 2 left. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That gets me.
So the purchase proof is another great way to create general influence in your business. So yes, flip it on the video, talking about your product, being passionate, be authentic works, but there are some, I guess, subcategories, if you will, of how you can do this as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anyone can be an influencer. You just have to strategize it and be conscientious of your approach. And I think anyone can really make it work. I think it's a avenue that anyone could go down if they wanted to.
And I think if you feel like you're late to the game, you're actually at a really good spot. The algorithm changes consistently, so it's always going to have a new focus. And then with brands working on or wanting to work with micro influencers, I just think this is a great time actually to get in the industry. Right. It's not going to slow down. So
absolutely. I mean, what was that number again?
It was like
21.1 billion.
Yeah. It's not going anywhere. It works. It's just going to work differently moving forward.
Right.
And so whether you're a business owner who like wants to jump in to utilize this, go now, baby, go.
Yeah.
Or if you want to become an influencer, go, baby, go.
Right. And I mean, obviously marketing has always been and probably will always be dynamic. Watch yourself with that tap in, don't do it. But especially now because we're in a pivoting point, it now is definitely a great time to start because we're kind of getting a fresh start, starting a new chapter. So
yeah. I love influencer marketing. I buy a lot of stuff from it. And I know we're kind of winding down, but I buy so much from it because I'm busy. And so if I can follow a young lady that's about my size, about my hair color, and excuse me, I don't know these Florida allergies. If I can just look at her and she tries it on, I don't have to go to the store because I live an hour from the nearest mall or shopping center. Sign me up. I will buy all day long.
No, my good friend Maddie, shout out to Maddie. She is so funny. Anytime that she buys anything, she's always says, oh, it's what everyone's talking about online. Oh, everyone's talking about it. Like, I don't think that she's bought anything besides groceries, even groceries in the past year that she hasn't been influenced to buy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, even groceries. Because she's on an avocado oil kick. She's been influenced even the grocery aisle. So it works on plenty of people. It works on everyone, really.
It works on me. I am tried and true. You share something on there and I really like you and I feel a connection to you. I will buy every time. So yeah, I think that get into the space, research it, see how it can work for you. It is a little trickier for service-based businesses like ourselves. We were very blessed recently to have a client spend, I think, 2 or 3 full Insta stories talking about our company, which was excellent for us. But
there's a way.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions about it, definitely slide into our Instagram. You can send us our Instagram DMs. You can send us an email. We're happy to talk about it more. Or just if you want to follow us on Instagram, you can find us at Social Southern Creative.
Yes. And check out our new website. Just listen, here's where you can help us out. I am being very selfish right now. We built our own website. And I cried. So if you could just validate my tears by just visiting socialsoutherncreative.com just for the fun of it, no other reason than you're just like, I'm going to support that girl that cried over building her website.
Let me see this tear-worthy website.
Yeah, you're probably going to look at it and be like, you cried over making that. It ain't that good.
No, I can like ASMR, like hypnotize you, like check it out.
Check it out.
This is
I love the ASMR editing where it's like, they're throwing the stuff in the grocery cart and it's like,
I hate it. I used to like the when they'd get their groceries and they'd put their groceries in the thing, but now I hear that like crinkly noise and I'm just like, I just hate it. I hate everything about it. I don't know. I think I try to listen to it. You know what it is, Stephanie? This deep rooted like hatred. It's because when I couldn't sleep, when I was accidentally taking an Energizer right before bed every night, and I would lay awake for hours at night, and I tried for a period listening to those ASMR videos to help me go to sleep. And so I think the irritation of laying awake at night and trying to listen to those, like, they had those awful ones where they'd be like whispering into a microphone and they'd rub like a brush on it. I tried
you just turn off the light and turn on a box fan.
I tried it. Remember, I was taking that like Energizer vitamin right before bed, so there was no helping me. But I think during that period where I was just a little dummy with my supplements, might have wrecked that. That might be like why the ASMR is so deep rooted in me. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure some people like it.
Let us know how y'all feel. Like, hit us up in the DMs. Like, I really, really want to know. I hope if you've made it this far, you'll slide into our DMs because we're really
don't slide any ASMR videos into the DMs.
Please do. I'll send them to her. I will make sure she sees them. I love to mess with her. So if you got a good one, slide it my way.
If
But
I ever commit a crime, just make me put those on like a repeat on a loop, and then that'll be my punishment.
yes, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. And as always, we'd love to connect with you on social media, YouTube, website, shameless plug. Is there anything else that we need a shameless plug?
Shameless plug.
If you are local, we do offer in-person marketing classes. We never really plug those, and we do speaking engagements. So if you are looking for a speaker, hit me up. And that's about it. Do you got any? Oh, it's only Tuesday. I was about to ask, do you have big plans for the weekend?
No, I don't. But I'm moving today. So
Yes.
yeah, so I got a busy week. So
Okay, awesome. I really don't know what I'm doing the rest of the day, but anyway, I mean, I'm working, but
yeah.
all right. Well, enjoy y'all's day. See you later.